317 total entries have packed the house here in New Caney, Texas, just outside of downtown Houston to kick off the 2025 SuperKarts USA Pro Tour. The biggest teams, the best drivers in the world, and nearly every single major manufacturer here and ready to do battle on this 15-turn, 3/4 of a mile circuit at SpeedSports Racing Park. This is the Pro Shifter main event, and we are ready to line the grid with 43 of the world's best gearbox superstars. But of course, before we do, we want to show you and set the stage and kick things off with opening ceremonies here from the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy's home base just outside of Houston, Texas. My name is Zayden Clements, alongside me, Rob Howden. And for those here in the pits with us and down on the grid, we'd like to ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time to get the helmets on and get ready to go racing. Let's take a look back at how we got here with our Pro Shifter superstars. Things kicked off with qualifying, where Charlie Steins took the pole in surprising fashion in Super Pole and got the whole shot in that first heat race that right off the bat had nothing but chaos there in that last corner. Then from there, of course, the battling for those who were able to survive started to move, with a bit more going to the wayside. In fact, it was one of the most carnage-filled opening heats in recent memory, but ultimately on the last lap, the number 4 plate, Kyle Wick, was able to get the better of the new kid on the block up front and steal that heat race win away from Steins. But close at the end of it was Gavin Bailiff and Billy Musgrave, and on heat number 2, Bailiff was ready. He was able to get the jump there, and unfortunately for Charlie, the opening couple laps, it was just blow after blow after blow. Punches from all around dropped him deep into the run order, and then Kyle Wick, his day went sideways with a spin in the last turn, fighting for the race lead. The number 3 and the number 1 plates, Mateus Morgado, AJ Myers, they had gone at it already earlier this year, and they found themselves near each other again. In this case, AJ, he was limping that magic cart, just defending with all his life because he had contact going over the top of Wick after he spun, and it sent him down. But Gavin Bailiff was able to win, and Billy Musgrave ending second put them on the front row for today's pre-final. Now, the pre-final that ran earlier this morning, Billy Musgrave got the lead a little bit early on before a red flag would then come out right at lap number 5. It would put us back to then a single file restart on lap 5, getting us back going with 9 laps to go. And with the pre-final weighted evenly to the heat races to set this main event grid 50% apiece, well, it meant that every spot here meant almost double, and we saw battles through the entire top 10 and even some of the rookies getting their elbows out with the veterans like Aiden Rudolph there, putting the work to AJ Myers, who once again found himself just hanging on for dear life in the final couple stages. Justin White, Charlie Steins battling with him all behind the All-American badass Billy Musgrave, who was able to score the victory and now finds himself at the front of this Pro Shifter main event. The way that they've been gridded, of course, outlined in their Pro Shifter supplemental, a little change from last year to their format. Basically, where they started the pre-final, if they started second, that's 2 points. If they started on the pole, that's 0. And if they started third, that's 3 points. Take that, add together where they finished in that pre-final, third, second, first. Again, first with that extra bonus of 1 less point to be 0. And you take those two numbers, add them together, divide them, and the best rankings is how you line the main event. Billy Musgrave and Gavin Bailiff, of course, trading the spots up. Musgrave ending up with a 2-1, and Bailiff starting from the pole, but ending P3 after Adrian Reneden got around him. They'll be our front row. Caleb, as we're getting ready to send the last few off, let's go down to you.
Thank you, Xander. I was just out on the racetrack checking the temperature. 109 degrees is the track temperature right now, so I think tire management is going to be the name of the game here today.
Without a doubt, it's been a talking point here, Rob, and it'll be important because, again, these new tires, how you break them in, from what I've been told, is a lot of how good the entire feel of the set is from the whole lifespan. So with everyone going to new Avincos, those first few laps, not overcooking them will be critical.
Yeah, I think that's going to obviously be key. The warm-up lap as well. You know, how do you get after them to bring the heat up into the tires for certain? Again, you don't want to overcook it the opening couple laps, but for those of the drivers maybe mid-pack, maybe you don't have a choice. Maybe you got to get at it to try to work your way back forward. There are a number of drivers who have shown great pace. Obviously, up front, we know that both Billy Musgrave and Gavin Bailiff have had the speed in that extended run in the pre-final. Adrian Reneden, obviously, in the fight as well. Those are three drivers who are going to show great out of the gate. But remember, guys like Jay Irwin and Mateus Morgado will be on row number 2, have had good speed throughout the weekend as well.
Here's a look back at the number 7, Hunter Pickett, talking about starting right in the midfield scrum. The GFC karting driver was, of course, turned around in heat number 1, had a decent drive in heat 2, and a great climb up the board in the pre-final. And one of the veterans here in this class, alongside a now turned veteran in Talon Yockel, his debut weekend with Catalyst Driver Development and a Tal Kart getting ready to get underway for the number 5 plate from just a little bit further up the grid here in 43 go-karts. Again, by the way, Rob, the biggest pro shifter turnout since the KZ 175 era, even combining, I believe, the Pro 2, Pro 1 divisions. I think you probably got to go back to maybe 2015 or 2016 for a Pro Tour when you combine S1, S2 to get a count bigger.
Yeah, you know, we've kind of had a feel for the movement that is KZ, the drivers jumping into the pro shifter category. We've seen some good numbers, of course, at the Super Nationals last year. A lot of new names jumping in, wanting to bank gears. And again, having this pro category step to the forefront with 43 drivers to start off the season here, the 2025 Pro Tour campaign. This is exactly what we wanted, especially if you look at the DNA of SuperKarts USA, where it started in the 90s, all about 125cc gearbox racing. That's what Ken Getchell had in mind when he first started SuperKarts USA. When Don Janowski took over and rolled with it as well, it's all but about shifters. And to see 43 of them here at the SKUSA Pro Tour opener for 2025, does the heart good.
It looks good too. Some of these go-karts, man, they have done a great job since the pre-final to make them look absolutely gorgeous. And on top of, like you said, the DNA of SuperKarts USA, the DNA of international karting has become the shifter kart category. And it's attracted some of our American teams and some of the international-based manufacturers like Sodi Kart, based out of France, to bring some of the superstars that have a European pedigree, like that guy right there, Adrian Reneden, a former KZ2 European champion. And he's ready to get after it here in Houston, Texas, as the official command has now been given for the drivers to suit up. 2 minutes away, and a little bit less than that, arguably, from us going green. But he's still got to find his way by this Ohio kid. Gavin Bailiff, what a weekend it has been for him and Trinity Karting Group's regular season debut as a Bureau Art team.
Yeah, for me, momentum is the key here for Gavin Bailiff, using that SuperKarts USA Winter Series, the preseason, if you will, to really step to the forefront. Was right there with AJ Myers, was right there with Mateus Morgado in the fight like crazy, and he's the driver that's pulled the momentum through to the start of the Pro Tour, and they've really stepped things up. The program looking very good. Sean Bailiff, of course, that TKG Bureau Art USA program, moving over to the Red Army material here for 2025, and Gavin Bailiff doing a tremendous job on the pole for the first Pro Tour race of the year.
We are moments away from firing them off.
This is the Pro Shifter main event. The fastest shifter drivers in the world are lined up and ready to compete. Championship points are on the line for 25 laps of intense, edge-of-your-seat racing. This is for all the marbles. The driver who wins will have to be the best physically and mentally. Each driver has only one thing on their mind, and that's becoming a SKUSA Pro Tour champion. It's time to find out which driver is the best of the best.
And they are away. Pro Shifters rolling out of the grid, and let's take you through the full leaderboard and lineup here. We touched on Gavin Bailiff and Billy Musgrave. Row 2, it's an all PSL karting B-roll art duo. Jay Irwin, the kid from down under, the New Zealander, starts alongside the Brazilian and last year's champion, Matheus Morgado.
Yeah, look at the contrast on row number 3, Xander Adrian Rendon. We talked about him, a KZ3 champion in the past. Charlie Steins, a relative newcomer to the program, qualified on pole during the time run. A great job for him for Factory Theory. He'll start P6. Josh Conker, the Canadian, has not driven at all in the offseason. Just kind of getting back into it, running for the Maranello and Vermont Racing Company crew, the Red Mafia. He'll start 7th alongside Michael Avancino, top driver in the shifter car category on the West Coast for Ron White Racing on the CRG.
The number 3 and the number 2 plates from last year, 3rd and 2nd in the championship standings. AJ Myers and Jacob Gulick roll from row number 5, and it's Gulick's teammate, the number 4 plate, another former champ, Kyle Wick, on the inside of row number 6 alongside rising star Justin White from Maranello, USA.
Kresge Racing, Proctor Bocher driver Vincenzo Saracino starting 13th alongside the ITAL Kart. Catalyst driver development pilot Talon Yockel on that row 14th place start for Yockel. Micah Hendricks and Aiden Rudolph will be on row number 8. Rudolph in the CRG for Kart. CRG USA knows this track well, but a rookie here in Pro Shifter.
He suffered a 10-second penalty for an engine change after that great drive to the top 10 in the pre-filer. He'd be starting higher up, and talking about starting higher up as well, Philip Nimkovich and Hunter Pickett from row 9. Both drivers trying to make up for some rough heat races. And then it's 14-year-old Gage Korn on the inside of Ital Kart factory driver Corentin Russo for Catalyst driver development. Ashton Henkel, and whoa, look at this. Ian Quinn is trying to sneak his way out. Last second, the number 9 late to the grid. I don't know if that'll be allowed to roll, but he's trying to roll from dead last. Let's see if the officials allow this start to go.
Field working their way up and getting onto the grid right now up front. Bailiff on the inside, Musgrave on the outside. Row 2, Irwin and Morgado. Row 3, Renenden and Steins. Row 4, Conker and Avancino. Row 5, Myers and Gulick. Row 6, Wick and White. Row 7, Saracino and Yockel. You see the remainder of the field working their way up into their grid position. There's Ian Quinn at the very tail of the field, and they're lining things up, getting ready to go, and we'll give you a fantastic shot of both the grid and the start flag.
Here we go. There is simply nothing like this. 43 Pro Shifters, 6 speeds, 45 plus horsepower. Gavin Bailiff, Billy Musgrave, the 2025 Pro Tour is underway, and what a whole shot off the line as there's contact further back. One of the Ital Karts has stalled into the grass for one of the Sodis, as it looks like it might have been Renenden.
Underway through 7, through 8, and again a couple of drivers off. We'll do our best to pick those up for you when we work our way through the lap. Further through turns 8 and 9. Here they come and getting things underway. Out of the first couple of corners through 11 and 12. Finally going to single file, and it indeed is the number 12 of Renenden. The Sodi car driver looked like he was going to be able to challenge for a race win. He ends up finishing dead last off the racetrack. Whole shot goes to Gavin Bailiff.
The Cincinnati, Ohio native has never won a major before. He hasn't even stood on the podium yet at the SKUSA Pro Tour. He leads the opening lap here under fire from the 5-time Supernats champion Billy Musgrave and last year's champ Matheus Morgado. As look at the pole kid, Charlie Steins getting by on Michael Avancino cleanly there in turns 6 and 7.
Yeah, Steins throws it down to the apex to take over that corner. Avancino did what he could to potentially hold him off, but not quite enough. I will say this, 3 Birol Arts right now in the top 4. So it's 3 Italian chassis battling it out against that American-made factory kart of Billy Musgrave. Bailiff, Musgrave, Morgado, Irwin, top 4 rather.
We're watching Danny Formal right now off of a rough start and a rougher pre-final. This weekend has not gone to plan for the GFC's debut of the Costa Rican. He was fastest in final practice. He was utterly dominant through the week in all the test sessions, but it has not been good since he put that first set of tires on. Long way to go. We've seen Morgado drive from way back and win a bunch of these 25-lap mains, Rob. Anything could happen, but we've already got battles heating back up again up front.
Well, what you said, though, fresh set of boots, obviously, for Mal, plus 10 on the opening lap. 25th to 15th on the opening circuit. Got a couple from attrition there as they worked their way off the line, but nonetheless, he is quickly on the move. We'll see how he plays it. Here's Charlie Steins now going to work on Irwin. What a great run out of the gate for Charlie Steins. Top driver in qualifying, and then of course finished second in heat race number 1. Not quite there in heat race number 2, got roughed up a little bit, but he's got the elbows up, wanting to go back to where he was in qualifying.
Yeah, Charlie Steins, I mean, on the used rubber sessions, the heat races, he didn't look that strong, but the GP car driver pointing to the heavens now saying, Jay Irwin, hey, we're both young, we want to make a name for ourselves, let's go catch those 3 in front of us. Because he knows the battle's about to open up. Billy Musgrave is trying everything he can right now to find a way past Gavin Bailiff.
Morgado may be the defending champion, but remember who won the last Pro Shifter race in SuperKarts USA Pro Tour competition?
Right. The only driver last year in a head-to-head fight to get the better of Mateus Morgado past, I believe, the month of January was Billy Musgrave at the season finale. He withstood the pressure. But now a little hiccup there coming out of turn 13 and 14. It's Gavin Bailiff holding him back, and it's a role reversal. He was being hunted by a Burrell before. Now he's hunting one as they rip down the backstretch again.
Yeah, Morgado up on the wheel still too. Here we come for more Musgrave. Did you think about it? No. Looked to me like he tried to run the ragged edge through turn for 15. We're trying to see if he could hook it up and potentially make a move to the inside of 1. Just lost the rear end on the exit of the corner a little bit, and obviously added a little bit of steering input into it, held that, and was able to grab the spot, or hold the position rather. Nonetheless, the fight still continues. Putting all that pressure on, we have another look at the start.
Yeah, right off the bat, Adrian Rennan installed it off the... Something broke for him. I don't know if he got a love tap or he stalled off the start. You saw him quickly pull into the grass. And then on the other side of the screen, another one of the Ital carts, rough off the line, and Rennan, what a heartbreaker.
Talon Yockel, I believe, was the driver that didn't get off the line, Xander.
So 2 of the best here, the number 5 plate from last year and the number 12 out right off the bat. But this is a big shakeup in your top 10. How about the Maranello crew? Josh Conker's got them up to 7th. Michael Avancino on the satellite CRG team for Ron White Racing is 8th. And then there is Formal buried behind Justin White, Jacob Gulick, and Philip Ninkovich.
Still the fastest driver on the racetrack. Danny Formal has that quick lap of a 49.903. Only about 0.03 of a second quicker than Bailiff, but nonetheless, he is the fastest driver. He was 0.4 quicker than Justin White on that last lap, so he's going to continue to try to dig his way forward.
As long as Gavin Bailiff is defending just a little bit to try and hold back Billy Musgrave, Formal's got a shot. I don't think anyone has ever won a Pro Shifter main event on the national level for SuperKarts USA from as far back as 25th. But these extra main events, the extra 5 laps seem to change everything about the racing here in this class alone. Let's see what turn 6 brings. Still a little bit narrow for Gavin. He knows Billy's right there, but I don't know if Billy is in a big hurry to get by him because he also knows it's a marathon.
That's where I was going with this as well. It seems to me like Billy Musgrave really taking care of things right now. He's not trying to force the issue. He wants Gavin to lay down laps. He knows how fast Gavin is. Hey, let's pull away. Especially, I got a barrel in front of me. I got 2 behind me. The last thing I need is to get in the middle of a fight with the Red Army where I've got all you guys working on me. If the 2 of us get away, if I stick with Gavin, allow his speed to potentially let us pull away to make it a 2-driver battle, that's going to be the best thing for Billy Musgrave. Hence the veteran driver not making any dumb moves here right now, trying to pull away here.
Yeah, talking about playing these marathons to perfection. Jay Irwin is right behind the guy who has done it almost flawlessly at all 3 mains last year, Mateus Morgado. But now it's the time to go. Musgrave's got the lead in turn 6.
Nice move to the inside there. You can see on the absolute edge of adhesion, the kart was kind of rotating, and a little over rotation, get back at it. He was able to control the entire drift of coming through there. And Bailiff, again, showing his maturity, realizing the pass was happening, and only doing the best he could to try to make sure he didn't lose a lot of ground and didn't give a chance for Morgado to close in. Yeah, they're all Burrell Army, but it's still PSL Karting and TKG, right? You want to put the Trinity name on top of the box for sure. And let's see, now with open racetrack, can Billy Musgrave get it done? Danny, we are 7 laps into this right now. Still a long way to go, right? We got 18 laps still to go here, but the factory kart is out front.
It is, and it's pulling away a little bit. Gavin Bailiff now resetting the clock here. Mateus Morgado trying to maybe pick that pace up a little bit now that Musgrave's gone to the lead. He knows that the benchmark to keep him within a second and a half, and Mateus has been so good at the end of these races at keeping the tires underneath him. He'll need to go a little bit better than what he was able to do managing that gap behind Gavin Bailiff. I think also even maybe trying to purposely stay back enough to not get the dirty air effect, to keep his tires nice and cool without a Kart blocking it in front of him could be a bit of the strategy here. But either way you look at it, the top 10, top 9 are kind of spread apart. Kyle Wick, AJ Myers, they've gone by Josh Conker, and finally the big guy has gotten a couple more. Danny Formal, Aiden Rudolph charging up the grid right now. They are back just outside the top 10, currently 11th and 12th, with still 16 laps remaining here. Lots of time left.
Yeah, biggest movers, of course,
17.
Danny Formal, as we know, plus 14, but Philip Nimkevich up into the 10th spot. He's plus 7 as well. Corentin Rousseau is up 6 positions, as is Angel Reynoso. But again, the big mover, Danny Formal. Otherwise, everybody other than maybe Kyle Wick, who's plus 4, 11th to 7th for Kyle Wick, as he's now there trying to reel in Michael Avancino.
Yeah, Corentin Russo now makes it 7 improvements as he gets by on Justin White's Marinello. Aiden Rudolph right now is getting a heck of a lesson. Danny Formal was so fast through the week, and speaking with Alan on earlier this weekend, he said when Aiden came home Wednesday night back to the house, he said it's just incredible the level of these guys. And Danny was the quickest that day by a lot, but right now Aiden is, right there every step of the way, and it looked like Formal even had a little hiccup in turn 14.
Yeah, so to the point, Xander, is Aiden going to want to stay there the entire time? Hey, great to be with a guy that's turning big lap times, but if you're a bit quicker, do you go by? And again, get it into your mindset that you're about to go by Danny Formal. He's not quite as quick as you at that point. We'll see whether or not Rudolph intends just to hang right there with him, or he decides to pull the triggers. They're trying to reel in Nimkevich now.
Got to give credit to Gavin Bailiff. Even though it looked like he was weaker, he's kind of started to pull back up to Billy Musgrave. And the gap back to Formal's group, they're 7 seconds away. That's a huge margin to overcome. Nimkevich, though, definitely next up. And Danny's even really trying to back up Aiden Rudolph a little bit to try and maybe force a battle with Rudolph and Russo. And that's going to impede Danny being able to focus forward if he's constantly having to fend off charges from behind.
We'll see what we get here coming through turn number 4 and 5. Back to the leaders again. You can see how much Bailiff's been able to close back in. Musgrave lost a bunch there. He lost about 0.3 of a second on that lap. He did a 50.3 the lap before, 50.6 this last lap time by. Was there a slip? Is it going in a different direction? We talked about bringing those tires up to temperature in the way you need it in terms of a 25-lap race. Everybody, of course, putting on the sticker of Vinkos for this 25-lap main event. We're going to find out whether or not, as they come back around, if Musgrave has the pace. 50.616 last time by. This time by, the stripe to put lap number 11 in the books. What lap does he lay down here? 50.280, another 10th quicker. Then Bailiff goes back down to where he was.
I got to think that both of those drivers are kind of pacing themselves right now still. Gavin Bailiff doing a great job, not necessarily going any deeper into the corners than he needs to. And Musgrave, that was the first time I think we heard any chirp of the tires down in turn number 6. This is that midpoint of the race where I think the race really is won or lost, at least in terms of having the pace to fight at the end. Caleb, what do you have for us when it comes to Gavin Bailiff and the weekend he has had so far?
Thank you. Gavin's been really good, especially in turn 14. For Billy, he had a little bit of a hiccup in that corner. It looked like he just couldn't get the exit that he would have wanted, and that's bringing Gavin Bailiff that little bit closer in the corner we're going through right now.
No doubt about it. That corner has tripped up a couple of the best already. We caught Formal on it. We caught Musgrave on it. That time by, back tipped the scales a little bit towards Gavin Bailiff. I think we've got a fight looming, though, towards the back of our top 10. First of all, Aiden Rudolph has finally gotten around Danny Formal, but specifically check out 7th and 6th. Michael Avancino has been reeled in by Kyle Wick and AJ Myers. These two are cutting up the field right now, and I think both of them could start to really make some noise. Formal's been the one that sticks out when you look at timing because he's been purple. But Kyle Wick, last time by, even to Musgrave and to Bailiff. Myers around the same, and Avancino about a 10.5 off.
Halfway point here now as well, as we've got, it'll be 13 in the books when they come back around. Be 13 down, 12 to go. And there's Corentin Rosso getting by Formal as well. So Formal has lost a couple of spots. He was 10th, he's 11th, he is now 12th. He's going in the other direction. That's Avancino in the 24 off the racetrack in turn number 14.
What happened? Michael Avancino and Kyle Wick must have collided. AJ Myers is now up and into 6th, and Wick lost a ton of time. I don't know if it was the last turn. I thought that them closing on the timing monitor could bring a battle, and it looks like it has brought an early exit to the top 10 and the conversation for Michael Avancino. What a bummer.
Yeah, it looks like he lost 7 spots there, Xander. He was able to slot back in P15, so the CRG driver shuffled off potentially with contact in 14. He is outside the top 10, back to 15th spot now, but still lots of time to go. There's still 12 laps remaining over a heat race distance still to go to see if he can't work his way back up. There you have Myers, there you have Wick, and there you have Josh Conker having a great run here as well for the Vermont Racing Company and the Maranello team.
AJ Myers now has to go back to work. He takes 2/10 off the gap as we've got a change in the lead. Gavin Bailiff has gone back to the point now over Billy Musgrave. Musgrave back to second. Charlie Stein's putting the heat on the back of Jay Irwin. He's, I think, starting to get a little bit antsy back there in that 5th position. Talk about an upset win. It was already one thing, Rob, for Charlie Steins in that 2-lap qualifier, the super pole to steal the top spot away. We know the speed's there on that blue and white GP kart. This is a small brand. It's not out of the big 3. It's not an American factory owned made by Billy Musgrave. But it is still a very tiny but mighty operation, and only 2 entries here this weekend for them in Pro Shifter, and it's only Charlie Stein's 2nd full season driving this package. He looks incredible.
Yeah, Charlie putting a lot of pressure right now here on Irwin. Bailiff to the lead, as we had said, 4/10 of a second the gap last time by Gavin Bailiff, who was able to get the lead early, then lost a spot, now finds himself back to P1. Gavin Bailiff puts the Burrell Art back to the front of the order. Let's see if Billy Musgrave can stay right with him. Indeed, he is not dropping at all right now, although we changed the top spot.
Very reminiscent of the Pro X30 field, Rob, where the driver in second doesn't want to stay there for 20 laps. They're okay to ride for a little bit, and then they want to pull the trigger and go to the lead themselves. And I think Gavin Bailiff, he's starting to maybe try to up the pace a little bit, see if he can catch Billy off guard. And it looks like Musgrave, while he had some great drive off the slow corners early in this session, I don't know how good it is planting on the back of those 180-degree corners. He looks great right here, though, through the S's right behind him.
Musgrave gets a big run out of the straightaway. Does he try to go back to the lead here? He does. He's gonna look. Oh, he thought about it, but tucked back.
Wide arc from Bailiff, too. I mean, we've seen that maybe not pay off for some drivers over the longer runs of these races. Morgado's line's always been so narrow, and that guy seems to be kind of the template of how you got to treat these extra long mains, but he's not necessarily making any inroads yet. If he's going to, it's going to be really late in the going, and I don't know how strong the number 1 really looks right now. Jay Irwin is starting to pick up his pace, knowing that Charlie Steins is knocking on the door, and he's played wingman very nicely for Mateus Morgado. Remember, he and Michael Avancino kind of got together in the pre-final, and it bought Mateus some time. If you're Jay Irwin, this is the time to reach up and grab that brass ring to assert yourself, as we see Kyle Wick now has gone back around AJ Myers.
Continue to watch this fight here up front to see whether or not Billy Musgrave wants to go to the lead. Let me just throw this out there. I find this very interesting. Obviously, with our EKN driver rankings. Oh, hold on, here's the pass for the lead. Let's jump right at it. Coming out of turn number 7 over to turn 8. Musgrave to the inside. He'll take it back. Book it. New leader.
And he does it in that double apex corner where Gavin ends up more of the turn, a longer period in the dirty portion of the racetrack. Check out the movers here as well. Up 7 spots now net on the day for Hayden Rudolph, with more still available. Quarantine Russo up 10 as they both find themselves ahead of Formal. And now is the point here. If you are Gavin Bailiff, if you are Mateus Morgado's crew especially, you begin to worry, because we're within the final 10 laps, 7 to go, and you know no one's going to be holding anything back now.
This is it. This is where you push. Where I was going with the EKN driver rankings was simply the fact that we did our rankings at the end of the year last year. You know we're going to do another one as soon as we're done the Pro Tour here to kind of update things. Coming into this year, this season, at the end of last season, Gavin Bailiff, you got to go down to 21st in the rankings. He's got solid finishes at the Winter Series. Those are 4 runs. He's going to have this one here as well. You're going to see him neatly into the top 10 and maybe somewhere around 6 or 7, just based on the way he's come out of the gate here to start 2025.
let's set the stage for you for these two drivers at the front of the field, right? Billy Musgrave, one of the elder statesmen of this class, no doubt about it, works 7 days a week, drives the truck and trailer, drives the go-karts, builds the go-karts, and over the last 6 months especially, it's been meteoric growth for Factory Karts as a brand that's allowed him to focus back on what he's best at, driving these things and developing the material. And behind him, Gavin Bailiff, kind of the opposite. He and his family, of course, his older brother Finnegan, their parents Michelle and Sean, they own the Trinity Karting Group team, but they also own the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, where we'll visit for round 2. And you'd think, kid lives at a racetrack. He's going to be driving all day long. He's going to be fresh and fit. No, they spend more time mowing the lawn there, trimming it, painting it, working than you could ever imagine. So limited seat time for him, and I can only imagine limited seat time for Musgrave working on building all those karts over the last few months. And still, they are right now head and shoulders above everybody. Morgado's crew losing ground, 5 laps to go, and a head-to-head fight against a 5-time Supernats champ and a young kid trying to get his first career Pro Shifter main event win.
Yeah, the story writes itself here right now in Pro Shifter. PSLKarting.com, the sponsor of the category. It is Factory Kart and Beer Art, first and second. And again, Charlie Stein still battling those 2 PSL drivers further back as well. Another kind of David Goliath battle with PSL Karting and Factory Fury. But this is a fantastic battle we have here coming down to the waning laps. 20 laps down, 5 to go, as Xander had said. These are the laps. How have you taken care of the tires in the mid part of the race? Does Bailiff have enough to dig back in? Can Billy Musgrave go back-to-back from that win to cap off the 2024 season in Newcastle?
Of all the accolades for the number 8, Billy Musgrave, it's been a while since he has been a Pro Tour champion. Of course, he was in the fight at the Supernats and Pro Shifter and won in Master Shifter, and now he got, I think there, maybe one of the bigger gaps between the pair in a minute. As Bailiff went a little bit wide in turns 4 and 5, he'll have to dig deep now in the hairpins to close that up. And further back again, Mateus Morgado is trying to, at this point, probably park the bus to hang on to a podium. Jay Irwin is all over him every inch of this racetrack, and the same for Charlie Steins. And the rest of your top 10 kind of holding station right now. Wick, Myers, Conker, Russo closing in on Josh Conker there for P8 on the Maranello.
He was able to get by Rudolph. Xander just on that last lap, so that was really the only movement we've seen here in the last couple laps. Quarantine Russo by Rudolph to go to P9.
So he might be able to get another one here really quickly. Let's see if the two of them get together at all. 3 laps to go. Still looking for anything to happen here. Gavin Bailiff versus Billy Musgrave out front. Mateus Morgado, Jay Irwin. Irwin's close back there for 3rd. Does he want to go yet? Musgrave, a little wiggle there. Maybe a little chink in the armor at the end of this main.
Looking to see if Steins is ready to make a move here pretty soon. I think he's kind of potentially waiting for Irwin to try to get by Morgado for P3 to potentially try to see if he can't be the disruptor in that battle of the 2 PSL karting teammates. Otherwise, again, do we see any chink in the armor at all for Billy Musgrave in the Factory Kart number 8 machine, the veteran driver of 5 Super Nationals win. He's been in the pressure cooker, as we know. Tight exit coming out. 2 to go this time by.
Gavin Bailiff, every bit of this week has built to these final 2 minutes. The final 2 circuits around. You need a great launch down the backstretch. You got to force Billy offline. You got to get him to feel like he needs to block. You got to put some heat on him. And I think we're going to see that back for 3rd. But again, Gavin just not quite close enough in that major break zone to force the 8 to go low.
Now, Xander, is it this time when you're a driver like Gavin Bailiff? Is it 0 or 0? Is it all or is it checkers or records? Do you have to go for it here, or do you take 2nd? This is the battle right now. Do you throw one in there? Do you do a big send, or do you try to see if you can't push Musgrave into the mistake?
Well, I don't know, Rob. Again, Gavin Bailiff would have been in our SKUSA Circle of Champions fund last year with a fully funded Pro Tour, but Sam Dicker, his teammate that weekend, collided into the side of Gavin in that main event, and it bumped him out of the top 10 in points. It cost them a near $5,000 prize package between entry, tires, and straight up cash. So when you think about all that's on the line, you got to be smart. But there still is $5,000 to win this main right here. Billy Musgrave, it is shades of Newcastle right now, hanging on, fending off the pressure with half a lap to go.
And again, he's also had to fend off another Burrell Art, the Factory Kart driver. The lead man at Factory Kart trying to come home with another big victory. I'm sure the crew is on the fence right now. Bailiff is right there. He'll cover to the inside of turn number 11. Bailiff's only got a couple more shots. They'll work their way to turn number 11 to 12 and 13. Here's Bailiff. He's right on top of him. He's going to get into the back of him. They'll go side by side. He's going to come out of the corner through the final of the contact in turn 14, and Bailiff wins in Pro Shifter.
Gavin Bailiff, a bump and run for the win in the final turn. Brings the Trinity Karting Group boys to their feet on the fence line. Billy Musgrave not happy about it, but Gavin Bailiff said, I've got an opportunity, I am taking it, and moves him out of the way for the main event win.
Down to the inside at turn number 14. Musgrave was all the way to the bottom of the racetrack, and a little bit of contact at the inside. Bailiff pushes him wide at the apex, able to get back into throttle on the inside of the corner coming out. He takes the unofficial win coming across the line. Bailiff wins, Musgrave second, Morgado third, and still Irwin not able to get my Morgado on the final lap. Steins comes in P5.
Can you believe it? What a run, what a finish, and well, we will let the drivers tell it all. The emotion on the line for 25 laps.
Did I pass you twice? Never touched you. I know. That's all I gotta say. Hell of a race. Right on you. Thank you. Oh. Great job. Yeah, great push. Great bump and run, dude. Great bump and run. Thank you. Great race. Thank you. We are fucking big.
Gavin Bailiff, you're a national race winner at the SKUSA Pro Tour. Talk to me about that last lap.
It was crazy. I feel bad I got into Billy. I mean, that's not the kind of racer I am. That's frustrating that I did that, but we won. I'm excited. I can't thank everyone enough at the team for giving me the pace this weekend, everyone that came out to support. It's awesome. I'm so glad to have that victory, regardless of how it ended. And, yeah, ready to go for tomorrow.
Talk about the turnaround.
No more tomorrow.
Talk about the turnaround as well for you, right? I mean, you look at last year, you missed out of the Circle of Champions. The opening round here, you're a race winner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much speechless. I'm gathering my head after that long race. But, yeah, to be out of the champion of circles last year, having pace at most of the rounds, and then just not having luck go on our side, I'm so happy to be able to come here victorious.
Who would you like to thank for this, Gavin?
Got to thank my mom, my dad, God, for all the opportunities he gives me, and just everyone that came out to support. Darian, my mechanic, for spinning wrenches all weekend. And, yeah, so many people to thank. But thank you. Kart Chaser, too.
Congrats, Gavin.
Thank you.
A lot to break down from this one here, Rob. Here's our shop, AKR.com replay. You could see the way they were going into the kink that Gavin was winding up for a full-on go-for-it move. And Billy Musgrave's words in the scale line there, I passed you 2 times, no contact. He obviously doesn't agree with that. But, look, this is everything. You don't know how many chances you're going to get at a main event win. That's a week of build-up, an off-season to prepare, and as well, a $2,500 swing in the payday purse on today. That's huge.
Yeah, that's why I said unofficial, right? When we kind of went through the results, you guarantee that Race Control will be having a look at that contact there. Nonetheless, both those drivers, tremendous up front, great celebration across the line. Just that little bit of contact on the entry to turn number 14. It was an exciting one for certain. And again, listen, we watched it build up, Xander, because they literally got it first and second from the get-go. They swapped spots a couple of times, and we knew it was going to come down to the last lap. Gavin wasn't quite there to make the move in turn number 6. ended up happening in turn number 14.
Gonna be a lot to digest from that one. I know Caleb's probably got some more, so we'll send it on down to pit lane here for the other side of that last lap.
Billy, talk about that end of that race.
I mean, it's in SKUSA's hands now. You know, I thought we both drove a great race. Gavin's driving phenomenal. I mean, I think this is like a breakout weekend for him, so props to him for having the pace. You know, earlier on in the race, I got into the lead, felt like I had pretty good pace, and then coming into turn 14 here, I felt like a piece of rubber or something got stuck in the caliper, so I went to hit the brake, and the fucking cart just went gnarly left. So he got back by, I collected the car, and then ran him back down, passed him clean again, and then, yeah, held my own till the end of the race. I knew he was there, but I knew we were kind of close all the way around the track, and I knew I had my strong suits, he had his couple strong corners, and then coming into the last turn, I mean, he just pretty much blatantly just moved me out of the way. So, I mean, this is Pro Shifter. It's in SKUSA's hands now. You know, I don't think that's cool, but this is not the class to be making enemies in. So, I mean, if nothing happens from it, then we just, you know, learn from that, and we go into the next race, you know, with something to prove.
Thank you, Billy.
No problem.
Well, you know, all things considered, right, first and foremost, Billy Musgrave's a class act when it comes to having every bit of that.
Hey, listen, I'm with him. It's the pro class, like we said, right? These are the adult racers, right? It's oftentimes you'll say, hey, do we just let them kind of take care of themselves? You know what I mean? If something happens on the racetrack, expect it to happen coming again at the next event. Again, I like what he said. It's in SKUSA's hands right now. We raced as hard as we could. We both raced as hard as we could. Here's the results that come across the line. It's up to the officials now to decide how it's going to end up.
If you want to see the rest of the mains, folks, we're switching over. It's time for the premium members main events. Kicking off with KA100 Junior, KA100 Senior, Mini Swift, Micro Swift, Pro X30, Shifter Masker, and of course X30 Junior. All are getting ready to roll here from Houston. And KA Junior presented by TKG. Bureau Art USA is going to be up next.